got one thing right, it was you and me.
Hello friends, my name is Nayeema and welcome back to my channel, or two if you are new. And today I'm going to be reacting to your favorite books of 2022. Thus far, I'm so excited about this. I asked you guys on my Instagram to tell me your favorite books so far of 2022, and you guys came in clutch and sent in so many, so I'm excited to react to them, add them to my TBR, tell you if I read them and loved them, tell you if I didn't like them as much. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram so you can be involved in the next video where I ask for your guys' opinions. I would love to know all of them. Also, soon I'm going to post a video of books that I think you guys should definitely pick up before 2022 is over. We are in November, which is so crazy to me. We only have a little over a month left of 2022, so I will be making a video of books that you absolutely need to read before the year is out. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into reacting to your favorite books of 2022. Okay, so the first book that I see here is the Queens and Monsters series from J.G. Geisinger, I'm not sure. And I believe this is a 4-book series. I only read the first one so far, but guys, either I read it the beginning of this year or the end of last year, but I loved it so incredibly much. Ruthless Creatures, it's a mafia series, and when I read this I was just in awe. Like, I literally binge read it. It was so amazing, and it was just felt so different than like a regular mafia romance. Like, it felt very different. And everybody says the series just gets better and better. The second book follows the heroine of the first book, her best friend. And I don't know much about like Brutal Vows and Savage Hearts, but good choice. I need to pick up the rest of the series like so soon. I think I'm gonna make a video where I talk about all the series that I want to finish, so stay tuned for that. And then this person also said Devil You Know series from Elizabeth O'Rourke. And I've been seeing Elizabeth O'Rourke, I think I'm saying that correctly, everywhere. And I just have never read any books from her, so let me know your guys' favorite books. I'll definitely have to pick them up, but Queens and Monsters series is definitely a good choice. I really enjoyed the first book. And then the next one that I got was Julie Ann's Naked Fisherman duet. I'm intrigued. I have never heard of this. I have heard of Julie Ann, but not this Naked Fisherman duet. Okay, well, the covers are cute. Our banter felt a little wrong. The way we felt a little wrong. And that wrong felt perfectly right in that moment. I'm intrigued. I kind of have been liking recently like handy-ish men, like cowboys, fishermen, like Brendan from fucking It Happened One Summer. Love that man. Think about him every single day. I'm not kidding. So, and literally in this little like preview thing, I'll screenshot it and put it up in this video. This guy has a hammer and a nail. He's hammering a nail. So I'm intrigued. I'm gonna add this to my TBR. And yeah, I've never read anything from Julie Ann, but I think she's been blowing up. Like, I feel like I've been seeing her books everywhere. So this person says that it is incredibly slept on, so I will pick it up and let you know my thoughts. The next one that we have here is Atonement. Never heard of this book either. I literally have no idea. This does not sound like a romance, but it sounds interesting. I think it's like literary fiction. I think it's also like a little bit of like crime. And then the same person said God of Small Things and the Disreputable Debutante series. Never heard of either of those. It's compared to Faulkner and Dickens, so it was also published in 1997. Then we have Controversial Princess by Jodi Ellen Malpass. Honestly, I've been seeing this author everywhere for like years now. Have never picked up anything from her. So this looks like a romance. I think it's a duet. So there's the Controversial Princess and then the True Queen. This looks good. I'm guessing it's like a romance book of having to do with royalty. Contemporary romance. I am intrigued. I think I'm gonna pick this up and add it to my TBR. For Elise actually sent this in and I trust her, so. Then she also said The Isle of Sin and Shadows by Carrie Lake. And I actually have heard of this book. When I was at a Polycon, I met this girl and we were talking about our love for dark romances, and she actually recommended this one to me. And so it's been checked out from KU ever since like August when a Polycon was, or was it July? Yeah, this one looks so good. All I know about this one is that it is a dark romance. Ooh, okay, so it takes place in Louisiana. You guys know that I'm a sucker for books that take place in like New Orleans or Louisiana, just because my grandparents live there. I visit them every summer. it feels like home to me. There might be a paranormal aspect in here as well. It's mentioning ghosts, and also there's like a wolf in this little thing that I'm seeing. I have heard really good things about this author and this book, so I'm interested. Release also said God of Malice by Rena Ken, and funny enough, I actually just downloaded this book on KU like a few days ago, and I used to be obsessed with Rena Ken. I loved her like in 2020 when I really got into like reading romances, and for some reason, a lot of her books just kind of feel the same to me. I am excited to read God of Malice because I believe it's like is kids of couples from her previous books, and that's always intriguing to me. I love a next generation situation, and also I hear that the series is so much darker than her most recent books and her most recent series, where I forgot the name of that series, but there were like 4 lawyers, they all worked at this firm. Those are kind of like lighter than her usual stuff, but apparently God of Malice is incredibly dark. It's a little bit of an obsession romance, takes place in high school, and it's kind of reminding me of Royal Elite, which I freaking loved that series back in 2020. So yeah, I'm excited to read this. I'm so glad to hear it's one of your favorite books of the year. And then she also said Heartless Hero by Mary Catherine Gebhard. This is actually the first official book in her Crown Point series, and I didn't read this one because there's like one book about this one couple, and then the next 3 books are about another couple. So I kind of skipped over that first initial book and just read the other ones, but I kind of want to go back. I'm kind of missing Mary Catherine's like writing in her world, so I think I want to go back and read this one. The fact that it's one of her favorites makes me excited because we have very similar tastes. The Obsidian Brotherhood by Delaney Foster. Never in my life have heard of this book. Let me see if I've recognized the cover. Okay, just from the title alone, I'm like, because first of all, if there's a brotherhood, I'm reading about it. Obsidian, I just love that word. That's like the darkest black you can get. Like, obviously, I'm curious. I've also never really heard much about this author either. The first book is called Mischief Night, I think. And these look dark, honey. They look dark. I have not read a really dark romance in a while, so kind of intrigued, kind of interested. Maybe it's a little bit of a Romeo and Juliet moment kind of vibe. Yeah, it's like rivaling families, and it's like a Romeo and Juliet vibe, which I always love. Go back to the classics. I am intrigued. Definitely adding this to my TBR. And then we have Swan Song by 𝓶𝓮𝓬𝓪. This author sounds familiar. Yeah, I've definitely seen this cover before. This is another dark romance. Welcome to the dance of the dead. Come on, little swan, get up and dance. For you have feet, for you shall bleed. For no good deed shall be left unseen. It's time to atone for your sins. Dance, twirl, spin. Your master shall be waiting patiently. Dance with your demons, spin with your doubts, and twirl till you drop. For this is the beginning of the rest of your life. This is your swan song. I'm also a sucker for just like dancer heroines. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Especially like ballerinas, they're just so graceful, and then like in a romance book setting, I don't know, it's interesting to me. I am adding this to my want to read list. This sounds so good. Don't really always love like a vague synopsis, but like Amo Jones, her synopsises couldn't tell you what they mean, but I do always end up loving her books for the most part. So maybe this will give Amo Jones a little bit. The next comment that we have here is The Brit by Jem, Twisted Hate by Anna Huang, and all the Sophie Lark books. So let's break this down. All the Sophie Lark books, 1000% agree. I fell in love with Sophie Lark last year, and she has become one of my favorite authors. She's so sweet, and honestly, she deserves all the success that she has been getting, and I'm so glad to see that her books are your favorites of 2022. That's so exciting. Then we have Twisted Hate by Anna Huang, and I did not love, oh no, Twisted Hate I did hate. Twisted Hate I did really enjoy. I think that one is the enemies with benefits, like where the two hate each other, and then it's kind of forbidden in a way because she's best friends with his sister, and yeah, they just have never gotten along for years. They hate each other because they think the other person hates them, and they strike up a little enemies with benefits deal. I actually really did enjoy this one. The other two I didn't love as much as I loved Twisted Hate. And then finally she said The Brit by Jem. Never heard of this book or this author. Oh, Jem is Jodie Ellen 𝓼𝓸𝓬𝓼. Okay, I actually have seen this cover a lot. It's a mafia romance. Okay, so my camera died, so sorry if the angle changed, but The Brit is apparently a mafia romance between two damaged people. You guys know me, you know I love a good mafia romance, so I'm definitely picking this up and adding it to my TBR. I also never knew that was the acronym for Jodi Ellen Malpaz. Let me know if you guys have read anything by her, because I've been seeing like her books everywhere recently. I want to know your thoughts. Next we have Breath Mints and Battle Scars, and I'm pretty sure this is a Hermione and Draco fanfic on AO3, or is it AOL? I don't know. Do not come for me in the comments. But yeah, this is like, I'm pretty sure it's a Hermione and Draco retelling. I've seen this book everywhere as well. I don't know if it got picked up by like a publisher, if the person just, or the author just like put it in a little bind-up. I love the name, Breath Mints and Battle Scars. Like, that's just so crisp to me. I don't know. Then we have Addicted/Calloway series, Devil's Night series, Royal Elite series, and the Mindfuck series. Yes to all of them. Let's break them down. Addicted/Calloway sister series. Love this series with my entire heart and chest. The thing is, I think I left off on Rose and Connor's. I left off on their second book. I think that one is, I forgot the name. So I need to pick that up and continue with this series. One of these days, I'm just gonna sit down and binge the rest of them, because I'm so tired of not knowing what else is gonna happen, not knowing who their kids are. We have in the book before, I think all of them had kids except for Reich and Daisy, obviously. But yeah, I'm excited to see like their kids as grown-ups, and I just want to be a part of it and know all the tea and know what's going on. But I do love that series with like my entire chest. Rose and Connor, favorite couple ever, love them. So that's a great one. Devil's Night by Penelope Douglas is another great series. I read this one in 2020. I never read Nightfall, I think is the final one. I tried to read it, I believe, and I just wasn't vibing with it. It was just so long and so chaotic, but I love that series. Every October, I get like a snap memory of me sobbing to Corrupt for some reason. Like, why was I crying? I don't know. But it's kind of funny. Then this person also said Royal Elite series by Rena Ken. I mentioned this series earlier. Loved this series in 2020. I love a good dark bully romance. This series really made me just fall in love with bully romances, because Aiden, man, was ruthless. Like, he was so crazy, but I loved every moment of it. I also never finished this series. I think I have like a book or two left. Maybe I'll finally pick it up just so I can be like, I completed it. Finally, this person said the Mindfuck series. I read this in 2021. Or was it 2022? It could have been 2022. Like early, like January or February. It was February 2022. Loved this series. Oh my gosh. I binged it. It got me out of a reading slump. It's like 5 books. Each of them are like 100 pages or so long. They sell them in a bind up, but they also, like, you can read them individually on KU and probably buy them separately as well. But I loved it so much. It was so insane. I literally have no other words than it was insane, and I loved it. The next person said The Watcher by Bella Jewell. Okay, this looks like a thriller. Oh, Reagan read it. She rated it 3 stars. I have not read a thriller in over like a year. That's insane to me, because I used to be like I used to love romance and thrillers. I'm looking at the cover. Looks like a spooky house, maybe in the woods, abandoned. It looks also like a couple. I don't know. Marley Jacobson was kidnapped by a serial killer and lived to tell the tale about it. The next person said The Words by Ashley Jade. And so I have mixed thoughts about this one, because I read this book in 2021, I believe. I read like the first 30% like 1 month, and then literally like 5 months later I finally read the last 70%. This book was so incredibly long, like nearly probably almost 700 pages, and that just irked me and made me like it even less. This book definitely had its cards stacked against it for me, because I don't love rock star romances. I don't like the whole touring scene. Like, that's just not really my vibe. That's not really my thing, what we got going on here. But it was okay. I remember, I think I either gave it 3 stars or 3.5, maybe even 2. But I do love Ashley Jade's Royal Hearts Academy series, because it is a little bit of a bully romance thrown in there. So I'm excited to read more from Ashley Jade though. hopefully shorter books. Then this person said Magnolia Parks and Say You Swear. I am actually still reading Magnolia Parks. I started it either in August or September. I've been reading it for so long. It's a toxic romance between two best friends. They used to date until he did something, and they're still very much in love with each other, but they're not together. She dates other people to hurt him. He sleeps with other people to hurt her. They want to be together so badly, but she can't bring herself to get hurt again. And it's a fun ride. I just like kind of got a little bit bored of it. I hate saying it because it's so well loved. There's a lot of designer references, designer like brands, designer clothing, which could get a bit boring. It also takes place in like high society London, which is so much fun. The guy's like an influencer, but like a less cringy version of an influencer. And they're both filthy rich, have private planes, Lamborghinis, all types of different cars. And I was enjoying it. It was giving Gossip Girl, and Gossip Girl is one of my favorite shows like ever. So maybe I'll finish this series, or finish the book at least, before fall ends, just so I can feel like the vibes, because this book definitely gives like fallish vibes. Maybe even the winter I could read it, because it kind of gives like winter vibes as well. We'll see. And then they also said Say You Swear, which I love Megan Brandy so much. I have not read this book yet, but I have it downloaded on KU, so maybe I'll get to it soon. What's throwing me off is I believe the hero's name is Noah, and that's my brother's name, and I really do not want to be reading a smut scene and just seeing Noah like over and over again. Kind of gross, so I've been holding back, like, ugh, like I can't. The 𝓼𝓸𝓬𝓬𝓪 by Runex, which I actually have not read yet. I read like the first 3 books in that series, love them so much, and then I just kind of like haven't been keeping up with her releases. So I need to read that. Persuasion by Jane Austen, which I have never read a Jane Austen, or I'm not a really big classics person, but I definitely want to get into them. So maybe 2023 will be the year of classics for me. Then someone said the Crown Point series, which we talked about earlier. I love this series. I read it like in 2020 or 2019. Fell head over heels in love with it, and I have not read the final book in the series, and I really want to. So yeah, it's a great series. I would highly recommend. Then we have Darling Venom by Parker S. Huntington. This one, I was gonna be buddy read with Reagan one day, and then she started reading it before me, and she was like, this is not the vibe. And I was like, oh, it's not the vibe? Okay, we're out. Like, we're out of here. So I never ended up picking it up, but then I think she read it or started reading it, and she actually really liked it like weeks later. So I might give it a try. It's also another humongous book. I don't know why Parker S. Huntington writes Bibles, textbooks, but maybe eventually I'll pick it up. I don't know. The covers are gorgeous. Then someone said Reminders of Him, Archer's Voice, King of Wrath, and All Roads Lead Here. And then finally Twisted Lies. We have some things to unpack here. Reminders of Him, loved, cried, sobbed, so beautiful, so cozy, so comfy. I read this last year, fell in love. Or was it 20? I can't keep up, guys. I like, all the years are blurring together. Archer's Voice, never read. I know this book is so popular and so well loved from everyone. I believe it's like a virgin hero. Maybe he has like emotional trauma, but I'm interested. I just haven't picked it up yet. Then King of Wrath, and I believe that's Anna's new book. Have no idea what it's about. It's kind of giving mafia. I've been seeing it everywhere though. I'm just not really the hugest fan of Anna Huang's work, but I did like Twisted Hate a lot. So we'll have to pick up King of Wrath. Then All Roads Lead Here, one of my favorite books of 2021. So cute, small town, like mountainy, snowy, single father with like a teenage son, hate to love, grumpy. I would say like grumpy honestly, but he's like grumpy. And yeah, it was just such a good book. And then finally Twisted Lies, which I believe that's the 4th and final book in her Twisted series. I kind of want to pick it up. Kinda. Somebody convinced me to give Twisted Lies a chance, because if it's as good as Twisted Hate, I will be picking it up. And then we have Part of Your World. Never heard of this book. Oh, Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I actually have seen this cover everywhere. I get tons of mixed like vibes from Abby Jimenez, but I do want to pick up one of her books eventually. Let me know your guys' favorite Abby Jimenez book, and I will add it to my TBR. It has a cute cover. One of the main characters is a sophisticated city girl. One of them is a hot carpenter who's 10 years younger. Oh, it's reverse age gap, so he's 10 years younger than her. That's interesting. I don't read many of those. Added it to my TBR. Wolf Hotel series. So I have read the first book in the series. I liked it. It was all right. I really enjoyed the vibes. It's like this girl, she is either from Canada or she goes to Canada, but for like a summer or a semester, she goes and works at Wolf Hotel. And it's basically a bunch of like college kids, and they all live in cabins there, and they have to work at this really rich, exclusive hotel. It's kind of giving Disney college program vibes a little bit, and she ends up really falling in love with the boss. They kind of hook up, they have their little moment, and I liked it. Maybe I'll continue with the series. It wasn't like a favorite to like, oh, I need to pick up the next one, but if you say it's your favorite, then maybe. Then we have Waking Olivia, which I believe this is one that deals with eating disorders. So trigger warning for that. Don't know much else. And then we have Before We Were Strangers and More. Never heard of this one. Somebody else said Heartless by 𝓿𝓲𝓬𝓪. Agreed. This is definitely going on my top 20 list of 2022. One of my favorite books ever. Such a good book. I talk about it in depth in my recent reads video that came out before this one. Check it out. But it's phenomenal. Like, please do yourself a favor and read the 𝓿𝓲𝓬𝓪 series by 𝓿𝓲𝓬𝓪 because it's just amazing. Then we have Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I believe this is her new release. I don't think it came out yet, but I remember her giving out ARCs like online. Like all you have to do is like sign up and then you got a free ARC of Before I Let Go. But I never did that because I forgot, and I really wanted to read it now. And I've been seeing little edits for it everywhere, and it just looks so good. So I'm excited to read that. And then the last one that I'm gonna do is the Deception trilogy. That sounds very familiar, but I just have no idea. It's giving Marina Kent. Oh, maybe not. I'm seeing Fallon Hart. Y'all gotta start putting authors in here because I don't know. The only thing that I'm seeing is by Fallon Hart. Never have heard of this series or this author. I have a feeling this is the wrong one. Like, I don't know. There's something about it that like I feel like I've seen this before, and I'm almost positive it's by Marina Kent. I'm not sure. Maybe it is Fallon Hart. Never heard of it. It's kind of looking a little bit dark and twisty. Ooh, it's like somebody has to pretend that they're their sister, like marriages are involved and all this stuff. Ooh, I'm kind of intrigued. This sounds actually really good. I will definitely check this one out. So that is the last one that I'm going to do today. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Comment down below and tell me your favorite books of 2021 so far so I can make sure to try to read them, attempt to read them before 2022 is over. My own version of this, where I tell you books that I think you need to read before 2022 is over, should be coming out soon, so make sure you look out for that. I'm so excited to film it. And yeah, also make sure you guys are following me on Instagram so you don't miss the little questionnaire questions that I put on my stories. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love you all so much, and I will see you very shortly with a new video. Bye!